Here we have a restoration of a 1941 Chrysler Thunderbolt. Oh boy, doesn't look so good, missing an axle. It's from the Jumbo series. Missing an axle, it's got some bent there on the left front quarter panel. But otherwise, it's in good shape, and just like most Tootsietoys, it has some amazingly nice details. But the casting leaves something to be desired. You can see that there around the edges and those side vents, they kind of disappear into nothing. But it looks really nice, and it's a futuristic. I think it's called a futuristic Roadster 6, something like that. And so I asked my wife, what color should this thing be? It was orange. I don't know if you can see little bits and pieces of orange still on there. But it used to be orange. And it's going to be black. So here's the axle that was that I pilfered from another Tootsietoy. One that's in slightly worse shape than this. Maybe one day I'll fix it up. So first we have to take these off. You don't have to. You can cover it in tape, but it's easier. It's easier this way. And now we take the steel wool to it, just getting the gunk and corrosion off, and shining it up a bit. Trying to take that dent out just a little bit. And here it has a nice big scratch across the hood, and later I'll try to lessen that with some sandpaper, and it worked. And here we can use the Coyote and Roadrunner anvil to hammer out very gently. You can see the size of that hammer. It's a tiny little hammer. And then, to pester all of you who are afraid of the dentist, I get my dentist tools out and I just go over all the little nooks and crannies. Even when I can't see anything, I just go over it. Make sure it's as clean and speck-free as I can get it. And it does help on some of the lines. Some of the lines really come out much nicer when you do this. And here I am with the sandpaper, and that really helped. And there's also right there was a bump, just this a metal bump, like a pimple. And I got rid of that. And one more behind the cockpit that I'll be working on with a metal file here in a minute. Yeah, right here. Just a little bit of casting acne, if you will. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to put some primer on there. And I thought I'll do a second one, just to fill in those scratches and things like that. Not that that's a really good way to do it, but coming out it looks quite good. Nice and smooth. And then once I fix some of the stuff that needs to be fixed and get another couple of coats of paint on there and pretty this thing up, it'll really look good. And this is what you'll see in this video, a lot of taping. So we're going to tape off the dash. I have to figure out which color I'm going to make that. The dash is really, really interesting. You'll get to see it in more detail toward the end. But I want to tape that off. And it's a fiddly process, and I probably should have done some of this cutting with an X-Acto knife but I get going with one set of tools and I don't stop. I just kind of make it work. And then I'm going to tape off the seat because I'm going to make that a kind of brown leather. So that needs to also be taped off. These tweezers really do help. With your fingers, you just can't quite get it just right. And with the tweezers, you have a much better chance of that. And this really takes so much time. Here I am with that toothpick, kind of rubbing it down with the toothpick. That makes a nice seal, and the wood from the toothpick is pretty easy on whatever you've got on the metal. So here's the first coat of black. I used not really a gloss black, just more of a straight up and down black. It'll look glossy later when I get the transparent layer of paint on there. But I put 3 coats, and that covered it nicely. That was enough. I don't want to start covering up detail. And here we go with the taping again. I got to tape all this stuff off, and it will get a nice chrome metallic pen across it. And there I'm kind of covering up the headlights and outlining the bumper there. The headlights I'm going to use a white paint pen on and just do the grill of the headlights. And here's the front bumper. I have to say, while I was doing this, I thought, oh, gosh, this is taking a lot of time. I've cut out so much. Is it really worth it? And yes, it was really worth it. And if I had been slightly more careful in getting the tape down tight, I wouldn't have had to come back and do some of the cleanup that I did have to do, but it really was worth it. There's also a bit of a debate about how much chrome to put on this, and it was going to get a lot of chrome anyway because you got these big bumpers and you've got all kinds of fins and wings. But in the end, there are just some things I didn't do, like the frame of the windshield. I could have done as well. And the middle, that large middle fin in the back, I just put a strip of chrome across the top, but I didn't chrome the whole thing. And there where you see the back light, where the back lights would be, I was going to make that red, and I thought, it's kind of flashy enough, it's kind of futuristic enough, and so I just did it in chrome. And there she is, looking pretty good. One tip with these chrome pens is to try to put it on in one smooth go. If you can do that, the effect is much prettier. If you can't, like I really couldn't here, you're going to have to come back and do it again. There'll be little spots where it's dried up and it looks different and leaves little black areas. It looks okay, but not as pretty as if you can get it in one stroke. Here I am just cleaning up some of those areas, and then I've also taped off. Here I thought, well, which kind of brown am I going to go for? And this was sort of a richer, little bit redder brown. I thought that would be a nice brown leather. Tried to just use a tiny little bit of paint here. Actually, I'm taking my paint from the toothpick I used to stir it. Don't need a lot. And you have to do the wheels, and a nice black permanent marker gives you a good black color that's not too shiny. It goes on pretty shiny, you can see here. But once it dries, it's just a good solid black. And here I'm cleaning out the axles. I'm going to sand off these corroded nails and put a little WD-40 on them. I don't know if that helps. I just kind of thought it would help, and so I do it. But I have no real scientific reasons for doing this. There she is. It's really getting close. Now we're going to take the tape off of that. And this was a debate. What color is that going to be? And I didn't want to do more chrome. Got plenty of chrome on here. So I just took the brown again, and it was a little bit watered down brown. I didn't stir it up again. And so when I put the brown on there, the relief of the steering wheel and the dials and the knobs kind of stuck out above it. It wasn't like totally covered, but it allowed you to see that relief and keep seeing the detail while giving it a kind of a rich color, as if the dash was, sort of covered in wood or something like that. And carefully taking the tape off. I had to do a little touch up, but here's that transparent paint. Gives it a little bit of shine and some protection. Looking very nice there. Here toward the end, I wish I had my gloves on because I was getting my greasy hands all over the nice paint job. This could have been done more elegantly. That big claw, the chances of you damaging the paint are incredibly high. So a little shine up, and she's ready. Here are the befores. Thank you for the feedback to put it before and after at the end of the video. So responding to your feedback, here are the befores, and here are the afters. As you can see, the front axle nail heads I made chrome, and the back ones I made black, which is not how the originals were done, but it's nice and ready for the display case or to be played with. Thanks so much for watching.